Hi there, my name is Claire Grace and I live in Virginia. I grew up in New Jersey and have family in Paris, so spent summers traveling there, and then I wanted to travel more and visited India and Thailand and spent several years learning, exploring, teaching out there. I met Caro, the teacher of this course, and in India, and loved taking her class and then working with her in the future. And so she's asked me to share some of my thoughts on pregnancy, motherhood, birth, etc. I also taught yoga for 8 years prior to having children. I now have 3 children and the 4th one in the womb. My first birth was at home with a midwife. Very good experience. And my second 2 births were free births. We had support from my sister-in-law for the first free birth, and then hired a doula, a local doula, for the 3rd. And we plan to do a free birth for the 4th again. So I'd like to share a few things with y'all, and I appreciate you having the time to listen. One of my biggest challenges was transitioning into motherhood. Although it went smooth, it went well, for some reason it was so hard for me to let go of who I was before. And I managed fine and gracefully, but it was still hard, and it really almost took me about a full year to be like, okay, I'm not who I was before. I don't have to try and keep doing all the things I did before. I don't have to keep trying to hang out with the people I did with before, or staying up late as I did before, or keeping up with XYZ as I did before. I have different priorities now, and honestly, there's nothing better than raising a child in my eyes. I don't think it's for everyone, but I do think it's the best thing in the world. So yeah, I don't think our society, modern society, raises us to be like communal and familial, to be where I was taught in school to be, what did I get on my scores? What medals did I get? What am I going to do? What's my mom going to take me to do? It wasn't like, how can I help my mom help our family? And most of what we learn in school is not things on how to survive, or how to grow your own food, or how to build your own home or bird nest, or create things from the home. A lot of what we're taught is how to be a part of institutions and businesses, and most of that is outside the home, and it's not very sustainable, and it's very hard for modern women as mothers to either let go of their careers that they've been working on since, quote, schooling, early schooling, or all the money they spent on college getting a degree, to then get a career, to then either let go of it or try and keep it and have someone else raise your children. And either way, both are hard, and you have to find what works for you. But yeah, I just think we're not set up to really be raised as empowered, glorified mothers. And to me, where's the motherhood school? And I wish I did learn a little bit more beforehand. I feel like I was trying to catch up as I was going, or learn as I was going, and it's hard because you don't have much time and energy sometimes, and that's okay. We can learn as we go. But yeah, so that was a challenge, to let go who I was before and really be proud and step into my motherhood role. One thing I would like to tell new mothers or new pregnant women is to trust your body. Women have been doing this since the beginning of time with no medical support. No, and yes, probably a lot of what you've heard or learned in movies or history is that birth is dangerous and scary and hard and terrible, and you need all the outside sources in the world. But actually, no, if you had zero books and zero information, you would still, just like animals do, be able to birth intuitively, instinctively, naturally. Yes, you'd be fine. And women often would go alone into the woods and, maybe have the support of one or two women in their family for the first one, at least, and do the thing and let the baby fall on a bundle of leaves and keep the cord attached for a long time and let it come off on its own. Or, most mammals bite off their umbilical cord and eat the entire placenta, and that replenishes a lot of the blood that they've lost, and it also protects them from predators smelling the blood. Anyhow, back to focusing on trusting our bodies. You can do this. If one woman can do it, you can do it too. And it does take trust and confidence, but that's what mothers need as well. And your children are going to look at you and ask you questions, and you are in charge. Nobody else as a mother. You are the person who is managing, organizing, feeding, nurturing. You have such a big role, and you should own it and not be afraid to take charge and make decisions. Because when you hesitate and try and seek outside sources, even Google, you're not going inward, and you're not trusting what you already know and think. And you're not training yourself to practice, well, what do I think? Before asking your friends, your doctors or your midwives or your yoga teachers or Google, ask yourself, what do I think? Okay, my child is crying. I've tried this and this. What should I do next? Okay, if you ran out of options, yes, then go back, find your trusted sources. But one piece of advice for me, from me to y'all, is disregard most of all the medical shoulds and shouldn'ts, because every person's birth and pregnancy and postpartum and motherhood is different. It's your own story, and you're going to create your own story. And a lot of what the medical things tell you is on a time frame, is on an average, and it might not apply to you at all, but they still have to go by their averages. And a lot of it interrupts what you know intuitively, and a lot of it interferes with your flow, your process. You don't need to be recorded and weighed every week and tested, and none of that is really, really necessary. Of course, unless you have a medical problem and you want to check up and you feel something's wrong, yeah, sure, use that resource. But if you're a healthy woman, just go inward and trust your body. You can do this, and your baby knows what to do. Trust your baby. And we also grow up in a society where body image can be a big thing for women, and I think now women are more so appreciating their curves and largerness, but in the past it was often looking thin and skinny. But anyhow, yoga teachers, I would advise